It is an absolute pleasure to have you once again at a very special episode 2 of Swim with the Sharks. My name is Dan Diaz. I am your host, and I am excited to be here today. We have a very special guest with us today. He is a man that is an absolute machine when it comes to systems and to business growth. But before we bring him along, we want to talk a little bit about what is School of Sharks. Well, School of Sharks is an online platform dedicated to providing quality education at affordable prices. As a matter of fact, our Facebook group, which just recently launched a couple of weeks ago, already has thousands of members actively participating, and it's completely free of charge. If you're not a member, I highly recommend that you look us up on School of Sharks on Facebook and join the conversation. But without any further ado, we want to go ahead and talk about the guest of today. This is a man that I really want to bring to our attention because he has an attention to detail, a deep dive in processes, and he keeps things exceptionally organized with an acceleration towards business. Now, what he has done is what he calls himself a serial entrepreneur and all of the hustle that he does. He's involved in buying, trading, and doing a lot of other very cool activities. In his own words, and I just want to go ahead and phrase it, about a year and a half ago, I got an itch to start doing something different in real estate. So while working in the oil and gas industry, I started working on learning. Very smart. He partnered with a few people and learned the hard way from others, but he says, I never gave up. Then last year, so we're talking September 2020, he says, I got serious about my business and I started planning and getting ready to launch as a serious real estate investor. January 2021, so it's only a couple of months ago, this year, he launched and did his first deal in February. So only 4 weeks later, in a short amount of time, I've been able to turbocharge a team of 15 members and a business that is currently pushing 6-figure month mark every single month. Are you kidding me? Please welcome, without a further ado, Mr. Yogi Mull from San Antonio, Texas. Say hi to the audience, Mr. Yogi. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Please do.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Hey, first and foremost, thanks for having me on, Dan. Great intro, great kickoff. Yeah, we've been at this now since, like you said, January, and we just keep running it day in and day out, and keep showing up and pushing.
Nice. I personally met this young man a couple of months ago, and I was just blown away at his level. See, a lot of us, we start like at one deal. Let me get one deal. And let me see what I can do, and let me go from there. And this guy said, no. Let me start with like one business. Let me start with one system. Let me start with a team, and then see where I can go. And that really blew me away about you, Yogi. Before we dive too much into the intro, quick reminder, guys, we're using a platform called StreamYard. So in order for us to get to know who you are when you comment, make sure you get StreamYard permission. Step number 2, also super important. If you don't mind in the comments, letting us know what market and what city you're from. And of course, if you like anything, please just go ahead and comment in the comments section. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Mr. Yogi, I've got a couple of questions for you, and they really have to do a lot with your growth and really with your business. So good to see you, Mr. Sohail. The first question has to do with your strengths. What do you think is one of the biggest strengths as a business owner and investor that you'd like to share with the audience?
For me personally, I don't know about everybody else, but for me personally, having the relentless pursuit to never give up, coupled with stubbornness, where usually people use that as a bad word, and it can serve you well when you're doing things like this, and it can serve you bad at the same time. Like, sometimes it does me when you sometimes don't know when to give it in. But just a relentless pursuit and stubbornness to just go, keep going, pivot where it needs to be pivot, and just keep it rocking, fix what needs to be fixed. And notice the stuff before it gets too crazy and ends up hurting you.
Relentless pursuit. I like that. I like that. Now, I know we hadn't planned on this question, but I'd love to get your feedback. Would you say this was something you were naturally born with, or would you say this is something that somehow you've developed over the years?
Really, it's more developed. It's kind of like work ethic, right? You can't be taught it, but you learned it from situations you're put in, things that you do growing up. It just, I've had a crazy past and just push through it and remain positive and just keep going, because no one's going to be there to save you but yourself, and you just got to keep pushing through it and do it.
I love the way you made it clear that even though you might have a natural inclination, it's something that you learned. And I'm glad to share that with you, because there's a lot of people in our audience that they may be in the very beginning stages of the real estate investing career, and they may wonder, man, how could I be like him one day? And as amazing as I think you are, it's also very humbling to just admit, hey, I kind of learned it. I mean, these are habits that I picked up. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. It's sometimes you just got to admit it and stay raw and real and go with it.
For sure, for sure. Now let's talk about weaknesses. What would you say is one of your most challenging weaknesses? Go ahead, open up to us.
Really, at the end of the day, it's being too considerate and helping the people that are a lot of takers. They just keep taking, they just keep not, giving back. And, I do help a lot of people off and on from what I've learned. And I do some of the simple stuff. If I give you advice or I help you and you don't take and put that into action, I don't have you come back and I don't help you anymore after that, because if you're not going to value my time and your own, it's just hard. But being considerate to a lot of people and considering, helping them and just keep moving forward with them.
I would agree. I've only known you for a few months, but if I were to describe you to someone that I didn't know, I'd probably say, man, this guy's a giver.
Yeah.
Don't take advantage of him.
Yeah.
He's a giver. I remember we didn't know each other. I mean, we didn't know each other, and we had a conversation. And you were very welcoming. And you said, "Hey, come on down, come to the office. Let's break bread. Let's chit chat." And I don't know if you do that with everyone. I was humbled that you were nice enough to share that with me.
Just you, Dan. Just you.
Okay.
Just you. Everybody else knows.
I feel special. I feel special.
Yeah.
And now, why would you say so? Normally, and you said it a little bit, but I really like for you to emphasize it. Being a giver is not usually viewed or seen or described as a weakness, but you did describe it. And I want you to emphasize it because there are a lot of people who enter into this business, and unfortunately, they're not givers. They want to know what they can take and receive. So why would you say that being a giver is a particular weakness that
it's like, if you think about it, it's like being a parent. Sometimes you enable your child more than you should. You know what I mean? So with that being said, trying to find that safe stopping point with someone and not continuing on with them because you want to believe the best in people and just keep helping them. So, I've started to learn going through time, like, okay, like I said, usually I'll cut you off and then you can take a break, kind of take a time out, figure what you really want to do, and then come back and we may try it again. But it depends on each situation. I had to start learning to cut off and not be the enabler to people. They just continue to take my time and waste my time and along with their own.
Yeah, that's something that you gotta kind of be aware of.
Yeah,
for sure. I'd like to talk a little bit about accomplishments. Now, when we talk about accomplishments, they can be business, they can be family, they can be personal. If you're okay opening up to the audience, what are some of the accomplishments that you are most proud of?
I mean, really, the biggest one overall is, the fact that I come from a crazy tainted past. And, basically it boils down to, if I can do this, anyone can do this. And you hear that a lot, but, quitting school in ninth grade, parents, splitting at 5 years old, having been through, the system and doing things, trying to be an early on entrepreneur, doing the wrong things to try and make money and do certain things. So it just comes from a crazy tainted past like that. And, on top of that, from that, not making the best decisions, but, I kept pushing forward, remained positive. And now we're just on the way to do, this is probably my roughly fifth, sixth business as doing things. So, yeah.
Wow.
I was a traditional C student that got bored in school and had to get out to go to work and do something else. And, went back and got my GED at 18 just to be done with it. And after leaving prison, if you will, I went to college for a while trying to figure that part out. Didn't finish that, and then just went back to the hustling and just took the negative and turned it into a positive, from the illegal game to the legal game, and pushing forward and making it right.
Wow. So I really like something that you said, and I want to hone on it. You talked about learning the lessons from something that maybe wasn't fully, legal or ethical perhaps, but learning the lessons and applying it to something that can be good for the community,
Yes.
Good for your family, good for those around us. That's
Yes.
very nice. That's very nice. Because a lot of people, they might not necessarily get involved with the wrong crowd and end up, in prison or other negative circumstances, but they certainly make bad decisions in their life that don't put them in the best place possible.
Yeah.
But you can change,
Yeah.
you can change the result for sure. Very, very nice. Very nice. Now, what do you enjoy most? Not just about real estate, but about in general being a business owner and an investor. What is it that you enjoy the most?
Really, I mean, the freedom to be able to do what I want to do and what I need to do when I need to do it. And really the people, because this is a good opportunity to help give back to people and really help them, realize something that they may not have got before. I mean, I just ran into a couple guys last night who are electricians at the pool, what I'm saying, by where I stay at. We were talking with them. They all want to do this, but they didn't know where to start. So, the little bit of information that a person can give them about this, as simple as driving for dollars and whatnot, can really help them and change their lives in a 15-minute conversation. So, it's a lot of fun. It really is.
Wow, man. I love everything that you've shared, because although I'm personally impressed by what you've done, and it's great. I mean, it's amazing. The beginnings are humble. I mean, it's not like you inherited money from daddy,
No.
or you're running grandpa's, business.
Right.
I mean, that's not what it is at all.
No.
Very, very self-made. Guys, if you guys are excited about this platform and what you're hearing, I want you to pause for 1 minute, and I want you guys to do me a favor. Hit the like button and hit the share button. I want you guys to share this to your personal walls so that more people can benefit, and also to any real estate related groups that you think might find value from these episodes. We're super, super happy to be able to be here with Yogi and this platform, that really is designed for you guys. Now, I remember during the interview, Yogi, that we were talking, and while we were preparing, I remember that you shared with me a particularly memorable deal that really, kind of stuck out in your mind. I don't know if you're able to share that with the audience.
Yeah. I mean, there's really a couple, but there's one that really stands out. And I can share pretty much all two or three of them there, because the two are kind of the same, and the one's pretty crazy. And there's going to be a good nugget in here. And we learned this kind of the hard way of having that relentless pursuit and keeping going. But it was a property that an individual had inherited from his sister passing away. Well, when his sister passed away, a lady moved in there. He didn't really want to deal with her doing whatever, but she ended up squatting. And she was there for over 2 years, never paid him a dime. The agreement was that, she was going to rehab the property and fix it up for payment of rent. He's like, okay, cool. And, you guys, that happens a lot more than you think when you start running into people with real estate problems. They're cutting deals on the side because they don't want to really deal with it, but they don't want to let it go. And you just really go out there and you end up helping them. Well, that deal we picked up, and it took us about 7-8 months to get it done. But we just kept going. We moved title companies around to try to get it working. But what finally happened is, once we sent it to title, there has ended up being some liens. Well, she had passed away, right? So she had 2 kids.
The original seller had passed away?
The original owner of it that went to the brother. So the sister who he inherited from had passed away. Well, when she passed away, she had 2 kids. In Texas, it goes right to the kids. However, also in Texas, they were adopted, but in Texas, you can't find out who they are. So we had a major problem there. So we looked at it, got a lawyer involved trying to help us, stuff like that. When we finally went back, he brought up the probate documents that were still actually good. So we were able to end up putting it in the estate of, and actually end up closing it that way with none of the liens, none of the issues coming back to the brother who was selling it to us. And then after that, in between there, we were fighting with the tenant, trying to get her out. Obviously we're going to hurt you. We're going to sue you. Talk to my lawyer. And, the lady didn't have a bathroom to use, basically, because, besides, financially, physically, because she had tore the house apart. She had drug problems, and it was just a crazy.
Not just physically, but metaphorically. And
yeah, both.
Gotcha.
Both. Yeah, both. And then we assigned it to a gentleman. He bought it. And we actually went over there and walked it with our lawyer, check it out. And, she had actually started tearing down and hacking at part of the house where it would have fell on her. And the new owner called us to us. I know what she's doing, but we finally got her out of there, finally got it going. And this guy collected just a few $1,000s, but he was happy to be out of that situation and dealing with that, because either way, he was just going to let it go. So now the new owner is able to take it on, fix it up. They had some real nice neighbors next door with a nice house. They're going to be happy. They're happy to see her go, and just kind of refresh the neighborhood a little bit and, make great profits while doing it and helping. And going on to the next ones, we've helped more than a few people that have come back and actually came to us and were crying, and you and I think about it doing this, there's a fairly monocle high income in doing this, right? So what we think $20,000-$30,000 isn't a whole lot, but to some people it's insane. So there's been a couple properties where we made them 20-30 grand and actually bought their property and did what we said we were going to do. And they called crying, come to barbecue, we'll buy you a beer, come hang out with us, your family now, things like that. And that's where it really, all the FUs, all the BS, all the kickings, that's where the rubber really meets the road, and it's actually worth it, because you're really out there. We're out there helping people at the end of the day, and it's really great to hear those testimonials and come back to us.
I like that. I remember. So I don't do rehabbing. You know this well, Yogi, but every once in a while, where I see that the pain point really is that the home is in disrepair and it has a lot of emotional connection with the seller. I let them know, hey, listen, if we do the deal together, there's a very good chance that you may be able to see this home in its glory days, because our goal is to put it into the hands of an individual or a company who can completely restore it. And you're right, just seeing those smiles and the response when it's like, wow, you're going to be able to do what we want to do, but we just either can't or don't have the money or the time or the energy or the resources. Going back to the first deal, I bet, I could be wrong, I'm not a betting man, but I bet that you learn a lot about titles and chains of title and heirs and things of that nature. You mind going into that a little bit? What is it, some of the things that you learned that are particular to Texas that might be benefit to the audience when it comes to?
Yeah, and that's huge, and that's what I definitely want to convey. Obviously learning about heirs in the situation there with the kids and how it just passes down, so on and so forth. Then learning a little bit about adoption, how automatically in the state of Texas they are closed. So like I said, we were stuck there. And then going to the next guy, trying to figure it out, push it, obviously kind of moving a title company a couple of times to look at it a little differently, see what we could learn there. And then, like I said, and even the title company, once our lawyer said, when you sign the document, sign it in the estate of. So the seller signed it in the estate of, and then we took it to the title company. And even the escrow officer was like, how do you guys know this? I said, well, we're in the process of learning, and our lawyer is a badass. Thank God. You know what I mean? So, and that's really, as we're going along, just, signing of heirs, where the adoption stops, and how to actually probates work a little bit better. Because, I've done some schooling and some training on probates, but just like with anything, when you do the courses and you do the readings and stuff like that, nothing's ever out there until you go and do it. You really like, okay, now it's a real world. It's different than textbook, if you will. You know what I mean? So it was fun. We made a decent assignment fee on it, but it did take a long time. So when you average it out, it wasn't much per month, but the education was tenfold of what we made.
Very nice. Very nice. We've got a question from Facebook user who did not give permission to StreamYard to tell us who they are. But it's a good question. I don't know if you're able to address it. It says, can we ask how you solved the closed adoption? Had one of those and it was a dead end.
Yeah, we didn't. Like I said, luckily we weren't able to, and we never found a way to. So luckily it was probated. So we were able to stick it in the estate of, and then sold it that way. So none of the errors really popped up. None of the couple liens that she had popped up. None of that stuff popped up because it was basically a free and clear estate.
Very, very nice. Very nice. Guys, this is absolute gems. Even as a giver as Yogi is, I guarantee you, if you ask him for a 30-minute consultation, it's not going to happen overnight. And he may say no. He probably will. He's a busy guy. If you guys like what you're hearing, please do me a favor, like and share this on your personal walls so that we can bring the message to even more people. Our goal with School of Sharks is to impact 100,000 lives in 1,000 days, and we certainly can't do it with just ourselves. So thank you so much, Yogi, for sharing. Before we continue, I do want to ask you. There's a lot of people who are starting off in the real estate investing world, and I'd love to get your feedback, very personal feedback. What are some words of wisdom that you can share with them?
Well, I'm going to keep it simple at the end of the day and just hit you with two acronyms. And saying by keep it simple is KISS it, right? Keep it simple, stupid, and then focus on one course until success. Those two things alone, and I'm even guilty too, as I'm sure most everybody watching this too, is trying to stay the course, trying to stay off the shiny objects of the new person's, shiny new course, which is the same thing as the other guy put out. But yet you connect better with him, so you think he's going to solve your problems. Then you're going on to the next one. So that's the biggest thing, is those two acronyms. If you can live by those, keep it simple, and stay focused, you're good to go. But they're as simple as they are, it's harder than shit sometimes.
The simple is not always easy.
Yeah,
I've learned simple and easy are not exactly the same.
Or we complicate them because they are simple, being humans. You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Philip apparently is your personal manager. He says it'll cost about $500 for a consultation, 30 minutes to an hour.
Thanks, Philip.
Sure, we'll go with that on like Black Friday sale.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That's with half off, right, today.
Right, for sure. At least tell us what your business looks like. I think we should do a little bit about that, if you're okay. Mind sharing a little bit what your business looks like? What's your focus? What is it that you do?
So we're nationwide wholesaling right now, and we're just getting ready to also launch a construction company here in San Antonio to do our own stuff. So the basics of what it looks like right now, we didn't start nationwide, obviously. When we started with just basic RVM and text messaging here locally in San Antonio. So we started to grow that. The lead would come in from some VAs that we have, and they did a great job. They would filter and farm it. Then we send it on to our local team here in San Antonio. They would call them, negotiate, and close. So that's still the way it works. Then we added in PPC. And when we did, we went broad. We started off, because the way the algorithm is in Google, we started very broad and nationwide. And as you start nationwide, well, you instantly solve your deal flow problem, and you create a too many problem. Mm-hmm. So we started contracting stuff, and it's not all peaches and cream, guys. We started contracting stuff that was in the middle of nowhere. We thought we were ready. So now all of a sudden we have, 60 properties, and only like 10 or 8 are worth anything we can move. So there went a whole bunch of resources, there went a whole bunch of time, and there went a whole bunch of money. So as we did that, we started filtering and farming that way. Okay, guys, now then you build it up, then you pull it back a little bit more. So as you do, you slow grow it with the algorithm, so your leads stay affordable, and then you start pulling it into the cities that are more popular, slowly but surely. So about every month now we pull it in a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. So that's basically our business. I mean, PPC comes in, we still do SMS and texting here locally for the stuff we're trying to do here, and it comes in, we close it. We have a outsourced TC that takes care of our paperwork, and then we got Dispo, and then we push it out. We just continually build our lists for Dispo and keep talking to sellers. I mean, it really is a 4-step process that's pretty simple. We have tools and resources. We use InvestorList. Shout out to Robert Wensley and them. David Olds helps us a lot with his dispo stuff. We've worked with him. Corey Geary has also taught us novations, which is really great. That's helping too. So when you start doing novations, we got a couple that we've just gotten going, but they're looking like they're going to be double or triple normal assignment fees, and our normal assignment fees are around $18,000. So
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I feel like I should change the name to Real Deal Holyfield. It's got a nice ring to it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I might lose my ear though if Mike Tyson gets a hold of me. You know what I mean?
No, man. I think you'll be all right.
Yeah.
We got another shy Facebook user that does not want to give their permission to StreamYard. It's okay. We'll still take your question. We still love you. What kind of startup cost are we talking about? Did you start out rich? I'll answer no, just because I know you did not. Right. Yeah. And did you put in over $10,000 to get started? These are good questions.
Yeah, that's a really good question. Thanks for that. And I didn't start out rich, no. So I'll give a quick little backstory. The way I ended up here is I was in the oil field. I met somebody, and I was like, okay, I was already kind of trying to do this. And I talked with him about coming down to work with them for free just to learn, because I had some money saved up.
For what?
To come down and work with them for free, just to learn, wow. Give my time for their experience. And it went well, and I did learn a decent amount, but I had money saved, right, too. So I kept trying to bootstrap it, kept trying to do it. And then come about this time a year ago, like I said, I just got fed up, and I dropped a good amount of money, because you're going to pay one way or the other. You're going to pay with time, and you're going to pay with money until you figure it out. But people come and go, and process and systems are forever. And I've known that for a very long time, because that's how I think, and I even text. People give me a hard time when I text them, because I text in steps. Like, why don't you just put that all in one message? I'm like, I don't process that way. So that part's been kind of easy for me, putting these systems together. And to get it really going, we had about a $35,000, $40,000 investment, not a loss, an investment to get to where we needed to be to kind of exponentially get this quickly. And it came from spending money on marketing, spending money on people, and spending money on systems. And we just push, got it right, got it tweaked out. And we're still tweaking now, because the only thing constant in all this is change. We're always tweaking, trying to get better. I don't know at this point if it'll ever be fluid, but we'll work until we die to get damn close to it.
You will always be able to perfect it. I really want to highlight what you shared, because I think a lot of people miss it. A lot of people out there simply ask and therefore want to take. What can I do to this? What can I do for that? Who can give me this contract? Who can tell me what to do? Who can help me get started? Yeah. And asking is fine. There's nothing wrong with asking. Don't misinterpret that. But when you start the process from what can I give? This is what I have to give, and I am happy to work for free in order for me to be able to learn. I don't know how long you worked with him. I don't know who he is. I don't care. But the point is that you had that mindset of giving first.
Yes.
And I'm sure that that's the same mindset you instill your team to approach sellers.
Yes.
You probably have a problem. Let's talk about that problem. Let's see what we can do to help you solve it.
Well, yeah, 100%. I mean, and we even do it to our teammates. I tell them, if you have a question, don't come to me unless you have 2 answers. Help yourself, give to yourself, so then I can help you. You know how often I see them? Next to never.
Yeah. They come up with solutions on their own. I love that.
Yeah.
Sean Donahue's got a quick question. What was the biggest hurdle you experienced when starting your business you have currently?
We are still obviously always looking for good talent, good help. People are the best, worst thing in the world. You know what I mean? Love them to death.
Apply?
Yeah, come on. Yeah, come on down to the boom boom room. We're ready. So we're always looking for good people. That's the biggest thing in any business. And then just getting them to jive, like our interview process comes, you sit with me for 10, 15 minutes, and then I send you back to the bullpen with the boys and girls, and to make sure that, because if they come and tell me like, I don't like that guy, no way, that girl, no way, you're not going to fit in here, obviously. And we put you on the phone and everything else and call sellers. So it's a real practical interview. So the people, are always a challenge, finding good talent. And then, I mean, really the rest of it's been fairly easy because I've had experience in marketing from having an SEO agency and stuff like that before that I've done, and doing marketing and advertising for e-commerce that I've done too and stuff like that. So that wasn't too hard. But the biggest thing is, finding the quality people, getting them all to fit, and then dealing with the fact that this industry, everyone wants the fruit, but none of the labor. You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing. Everybody wants to squeeze, but they don't, what I'm saying? They want the juice, but they don't want to squeeze it. So that's the biggest thing is, dealing with that situation and making the team jive properly, and then just going and having a good time all the way around.
Oh man, very, very nice. Very nice. Man, so many nuggets you've shared. I really, really like it. Before we totally wrap things up, I would like to hone in on practical advice that you can share with the audience. We're talking about tips, tricks, little actionable information that you can share with them that can really help propel their business. What are some practical advice that you can share?
Man, in life in general, and I've lived by this forever, consistent grit. Like, success is boring. You know what I mean? It is boring. It's the same thing day in and day out. You might tweak, it might change a little bit, but a majority of it, you'll keep doing the same thing day out. So, stay the course, have that consistent grit, the tenacity to keep going, and do look at what everyone else is doing. You know what I'm saying? Because success does leave clues. It's there, and copy and paste what they're doing. What I'm doing is no different from what the next guy is doing. I might use a little bit of a different tool, but the execution at the end of the day is the same. Or I might say something a little different because the sales training we do and stuff like that. That may be a little bit different, but overall, the process is the same. Get it, buy low, sell higher, buy low, sell higher, and whatever you're doing, because you make money when you buy, not necessarily when you sell.
Buy land by the acre and sell it by the lot.
Yeah.
Buy alcohol by the bottle and sell it by the shot.
Yep.
There's nothing new under the sun.
I love that. Yep.
I love that. I love that there is nothing new under the sun. Well, listen, Yogi, I am excited. I'm thankful. I'm grateful that you were able to join us. I promised you we wouldn't be pulling you away too long from your team and from your business, but we are super, super happy and excited that you're here. For those of you who are joining us, thank you so much for joining us. We are on a mission to impact 100,000 lives in 1,000 days, and we can't do it without you. If you find value in Swim with the Sharks in these episodes and in bringing businessmen and women, entrepreneurs, successful individuals for you guys to learn from, please like and share this to your personal walls. I will know who shared. I'm just going to throw that out there. And those who do will certainly be rewarded. Bettina, always awesome to have you. So good. Thank you so much for sharing. Andrew, hashtag relentless pursuit. I like that. We should start using that as a hashtag for sure. So anyways, if anybody wants to connect with Yogi or with myself, we're going to go ahead and plug in information right down below. You got his telephone number, his email address. Don't blow him up, guys. He doesn't do training and coaching and building y'all's businesses. He built his business, but he's a giver for sure. So hit him up if you have any questions. Feel free to hit me up as well if you have any questions. It's been an absolute pleasure having you guys. Please like and share the content that you guys see here. Sohail, it's always a pleasure to see you. Thank you so much, Sharks, for being along. Thank you so much for the support of the group, and I hope you guys have a great one. Take care. Have a prosperous week. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks, man. Take care.